Hey, we're live. Right then. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to TFC Open Mic. This is Season 3, Episode 40. I titled this one, Who Woke the Dragon? Because why did I title it that one? Well, I did the raid warm-up stream as I have been now for the last few raids. And it was all going swimmingly to start with. For the first hour anyway. And I thought, yeah, targets are quite good. And I'll finish off, as I started. So I started off with an S set, and I thought the damage is reasonable for a first ever go. And then all of a sudden, it sort of like doubled in its damage. And I thought, right, well, guess what? TSM's not doing any more until it's come back down again. And it seems to have just started to come back down. So someone's been fiddling around with that damage multiplier yet again. But anyway. That's enough of my whinging at the moment. So first and foremost, I will say hello to the panel. Troublesome Jamie's in. Hello, young lady.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. You?
Great.
Good. Hefe's here. How bud?
How are you doing?
Yeah, not so bad. And Samuel's in. Hey, mate.
Good evening.
Good evening, mate. And Venom's here.
Good evening.
Hey. Oh, and Ozzy's just turned up. Hello, mate. You got a mic, mate? I might have caught him. Ozzy, you there, buddy?
Hello, can you hear me this time?
Yeah, got you this time, mate. Yeah, we're on.
Cool. Last time I was having trouble.
No, we're on.
How are
We're
you?
good. Yeah, very good. How's you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Super duper, buddy. Right. Okay. Well, I mean, there's no point denying it. It's definitely raid weekend. The traffic on the page has gone up considerably over the last 24 hours. And not all for the good, but not all is for the bad. So, don't know. I suppose we open up with it's a new raid format. It's a first time we've had a skirmish raid, I think, ever without a submarine, unless I'm thinking otherwise. Who wants to start the bidding? How is it, and how are you getting on, and what are you using, and all those sort of things. So, somebody make a start. Who wants to go first?
Okay.
Sure, I can go.
Go on, Samuel. You go first. Then you jump in front of the lady. Don't worry about it.
Okay, lady first, by all means.
Jamie, you go.
I am using 4 razors and a bat ray, and I'm sitting at 549 million.
Whoa! All right then. Right, you can leave now.
What?
500 odd
Bye,
million.
bye-bye.
You're one of those. Where's that put you on the leaderboard? Pretty far up there, I think.
18.
18. You're a nightmare. You're one of those number chasers. I know that. Your little alliance must love you. Do you actually need that many points, or are you just helping people out, or what?
I do my raid the first night, then I start prepping.
All right. Okay. That's admirable, isn't it? Yeah, we don't mind that at all. Now get me right or wrong. You had a pause in the game for a while, didn't you? Didn't you pause for a little while, or you were sort of like displeased with it for a certain period?
I've switched allies. But
that was the discussion we were having, wasn't it? That was right. Yeah. So your new alliance must think you're great.
Oh, I love them.
Oh, well, that's a good start, isn't it? That's I'm sure they love you too. So yeah, 500 odd blimmin' neck. I just can't imagine what have you managed to collect everything that you must have done.
Got a few of the little odds and ends if you want to refit a ship to buy. That's about it.
Oh yeah, and of course they added a few things, didn't they? So,
I already got them.
Oh, you got everything. Oh. me, give it all to me. God, blimmin' neck. Right, so you're sitting pretty at the moment, okay? Yeah, generally content. Yep. Blimmin' heck, good. Right, okay. Samuel, tell me about yours so far.
I've finished in the first evening. I only wanted the Brennus bat ray anyway. So now everything else is just bonus. I think that they've more or less got the balance right. For the first raid anyway, compared to what we were stuck with for the last cycle, I think this is fairly well tuned.
Yeah, I was thinking. I mean, it's very easy to everyone go, "Oh, it's the end of the world," the sky's falling, and that sort of stuff, But then I went back to the show 5.5 months ago, and I looked at the first one that we had when the very first Mantis come out. And in all honesty, although people are going, "Oh, this is really hard," I haven't seen 100 "I'm quitting" moments, and I haven't seen, I've seen more what's the puzzle? How am I doing this? And that sort of stuff. The only thing I can say that really does frustrate me, like I said, is the, let's get on the, the graphic equalizer and let's just zoom up and down the damage in the first 24 hours that they do, which really makes it hard for people to work out refits and a viable refit. Because you're always sort of like, well, I'll do most of it and I'll see what everybody's doing, sort of stuff, and I can maybe change one special with some tokens. But it's really hard to do that when 1 minute the damage is up and the next minute's down.
Yeah, but I think it's a positive thing. I started the raid with 1 coin repairs for the 100 with only 4 bat rays in the fleet, which I thought was really, really good. And then when that damage equalizer was being fiddled with, it only went up 1 coin, and really it's only by a couple of minutes. So if I had a 5th in there or had the flagship, that might drop down even better. So I think for the first raid, that's pretty good, given that the ship that's tuned for that target is able to do it for that sort of cost.
Hey, not too bad. That's right. I'll say a quick hi, Ren. Hey, mate.
Hey, Mark. Can you hear me?
Yeah, got you, buddy. You're right.
Good. Oh, great, man.
Good. I'll hop across because you had mic problems last time. Ozzy, how are you getting on, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Bat rays and razor tails in mine as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think the razor tails doing good because they're surfacing that sub for me. Because I went bat ray and built 1 razor tail from the TLC that we just had.
All right, yeah.
Tokens. Yeah, they're working quite well.
Okay,
About,
what sort of points you on?
43 minutes. This one just did one for 38. I've only ever got 2 at 38. The rest around about 45, 48.
Okay. Are you sort of like it's difficult to tell, obviously, and it's it's not foretelling because they can look at their own stats. But are you, in a comparative to last month's raid, are you thinking that you're on par for the raid for damage as you expected, or do you think it's more, or are you going to get what you want?
I think it's less. I think they've actually I can't remember what his name was. Said that I think they've balanced it. It's not too bad this time.
Samuel, yeah.
Pretty much straight. Yeah, sorry, Samuel. Yeah, I think they've balanced it pretty much straight away this time. Like I say, I have played with it, but I think they got it pretty close.
I think this afternoon's a bit better. The first hour, when it first started off, when I was doing the stream, I was really content. Managed to get through all different targets of all different, most of all the fleets that I had. I haven't got Tide Seekers anymore. I recycled them. I forgot. But yeah, in general, I thought for a first, let's just go and look at the targets. I was quite happy until I got to the last little bit. And like I said, I went to rework the very first one, which was the S-set again. And all of a sudden, the damage fairies have been in. So I just sort of stepped across and left. I didn't do any more that night at all. I did a little bit this morning. And I've had a little go this afternoon, and definitely it's better this afternoon for me anyway. Less laggy, and obviously some people have finished as well, which makes it mean there's more targets around. One thing I have noticed, I don't know what you think, guys, but I've seen a lot less now of the assault blitz targets. There were loads, and now maybe there were loads at the start, and they're spawning now really, really sort of like infrequently. But
I thought there were just more people doing them.
I was wondering that, Ren, as well. I'm not sure if that's the case because 600k, as I tested in the I got 15 to 18 minutes damage. I thought that was a bit of a gift and a really good way for people that were struggling to get into a raid that haven't got a full fleet. But I suppose you shouldn't be doing those instead of doing I don't know, people do what they like, I suppose, but
I'm doing everything, man.
You greedy devil. Why not?
I'm driving on the elites, and then I have prototypes grinding 60s non-stop. And then I have, when they're repaired, eventually I get the manticores out to auto those 89s and get some points too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is anybody else doing the 60 set as a sideline? Because, I mean, it's really good to see the 60s came in and they said, Fang Tooths. Yeah, really? I don't think so. But they said, then obviously you can use the Hunters. Well, straight away I thought, great, that means prototypes are in there. Like I said, I tested it and actually you can auto, quite reasonable. And they're tough old little boats, aren't they, the Protos? So, I'm agreeing with you, Ren. You can sort of like do that as a sideline one and then focus on the main fleet. So, anybody else doing that sort of thing?
Yep.
You are as well, Sammy, yeah?
Yeah, the prototypes are doing really, really well on auto on the 60s.
Better than actually my driving, I have to say. To be honest, I drove them a little bit in the preview, and the preview in the warm up sort of thing, and I was like, yeah, this is okay. And then I just did it as a sideline this morning. I went, yeah, you ordered them better than I can drive them, so that's not really good, is it? But yeah, interesting. What fleets? Sorry, Ozzy, go back to you, mate. What fleet have you got, buddy?
3 bat rays, 2 razors.
Okay, and you chose that right from the start. Is that because you wanted to make sure that bat ray's great. I know it is. It's a good hull and that sort of stuff. But did you put the razors in there for just the sub raising concept? Yeah?
Just basically the surfacing of the subs, and then they do kill things a little bit quicker too. Scatters.
Yeah, I literally I've got 5 bat rays, and I'm sort of wishing I hadn't on my alt account, because killing the subs in the 102s is just painful. It really is.
Yeah.
It's just, I wish I had just 1 razor in there and stick it in 3rd or 4th slot, and then it'd be, it'd probably be so much easier, because I'm just like driving around in circles and in circles and in circles and eventually killing them off. So, yeah.
Well, I did have 1, and then I built the second one with more tokens from this. 1 was okay, but they still took too long to surface.
Got you.
2 seems to be not too bad.
And how are you finding it as a mixed fleet viability? You content? Is it the set you're doing? Is it?
Yeah, pretty much every ship will take the same amount of damage.
Well, that's interesting, because that's something I was going to talk to Hefe about, actually. Hefe, how are you finding the almost priority targeting concept of the sort of subs? Because I'm getting slammed on my number 1 ship. I'm having to keep rotating my ships out all the time.
Yeah, I find it interesting, and from the feedback we got on Discord from Robot, it's not intentional.
Yeah, I was following that as well. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, and so we could talk a little bit. I think there's some more detailed things associated with how things are accelerating, and I think it deals with the speed limiting and the way that gets implemented. But I don't know if we want to get into that sort of detail at this point, because I had a whole issue with I built a Brunus bat ray with a at the same speed as the rest of mine.
Yeah.
And it's completely useless to park in the corner for me, because it appears the accelerate function is causing these ships to sort of jump around if not all of them are accelerated.
Oh, really?
So basically, my ships break up. They're not. They won't stack. Are you having this issue? Are you still doing what you did in the preview server?
Yeah, I'm still doing the same thing. Yeah, because I haven't. I mean, I'm slow building, and I'm sticking to my guns. I'm just going to go with the 1 fleet. I'm not going to build the second fleet. If I'm going to build it, I'll build it in slow time as an add-on sort of stuff. But I am definitely going to stick to. I've got both flagships, and I've got all the bits, but I'm going to sit this one just down to 1 fleet, because I have that struggle. But for me, 45, and I was done. I did a few preps for some people, and I managed to get the second one. And I did some messing around today because I want to do some videos just to see how I could get on. And I got a few of the tokens, but I haven't really gone for anything else. So I'm slow building my. I've had some really sort of like epiphany moments on builds and that sort of stuff, and I tested a couple of things out, but I'm not pushing this one. This complete series, I'm not going to push really hard at all. It's just too short, and skill is always fussy.
Are you doing the 4-in-1 like you did in the preview server at all anymore? You're parking in the corner?
Not now. I haven't done. I must admit, because I have got, I have always had 5 ships on my main account, and obviously my alt account on the other channel sort of thing. But so I can test the 5-in-1, but at the moment now, so I'm building the 2 flagships in slow time on both accounts. So what I should have done was actually, built one of the opposing ships and chucked in as well. But I can't do that now, unfortunately.
Okay, so you haven't tried it since then, after they made the changes to the.
I can go and try it now. I've got a second screen, so while we're chatting, I'll give it a go. I've got a fleet.
Okay, yeah. See if they stack properly if you park one in the corner, because I was having trouble with it, and I filed a ticket about it, and they're like, "Oh, well, give me your ship codes, how to, and I'm like, well, you need to have my. Unless I rebuild it, which may be incorrect, I gotta have to empty shipyard to do this. And they wanted a video, and all this stuff.
Too much stuff. Yeah.
It's too much. It's not my job to be figuring all this stuff out for them.
That's
in my opinion.
That's just when you put one ship in the corner, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which was fine initially, right at the very start, because that's
but
I did
it's never
test
been
that.
fine. That's never been fine. When it was implemented into the game, if you're removing one of the ships from your full selection, it'll always have issues.
Always unstack. I mean, yeah. My Infernal Dragons did the same in FM.
Yeah. It'll never stack right. It's to do with how it's processing that ship being missing from the full selection.
That's weird. I didn't have that when I did the warm up. I didn't have a stacking issue. They stacked perfectly fine.
Yeah, he wasn't. There was no issue. I watched yours, and then I'm like, okay, this sounds like a good idea because I get to plus 65.
Yeah.
But that's because on the warm up, you only have one word loading the servers, right? Once you get everybody playing, that tiny microsecond lag that's added screws up with the game's ability to process that pretty much.
Okay, we'll keep going. I've got a second screen that I've got nothing doing, so I'll do that now on the second screen and see what
I'm
happens.
sharing my screen too because I'm squeezing target number 10 on this fleet.
Yeah, no, I'm watching, mate. I've got you on share at the moment. Don't worry. I'll leave yours on share because I'm intrigued. Look at you've got a hair's breadth of life left from that ship. I'm pretty impressed actually.
Yeah, look at my flagship there on the corner.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And that's target number 10 on the same fleet.
Nice. That's good, yeah.
And that's where I don't see the advantage of the flagship right now, because then I can't keep rotating.
You can't rotate, yeah. And I think because of this priority, I mean, that's the thing. I did want to get into it a little bit heavy, if you don't mind. I'm a bit frustrated at the fact that obviously, and I wouldn't mind if it was like Sky 5, the multiplier was built differently, but if they are going to prioritize, and all the torpedoes are going to hit the first ship, and this ship doesn't seem to be that much stronger, even though it should be, because its bonuses are 60%, across both damage types as opposed to the 36. It's then, as you said there, Ren, the flagship doesn't seem the way to go because you can't rotate a flagship. It's got to go in number 1, which means when it's dead, it's dead.
Keep repairing your coin in the flag, if I want to keep.
Yeah.
Now look at my points. Okay, I had like 82,000 points when I started this stint. 10 targets, 50 million points, right? The 6 million points you see on the side, that was the prototype auto in 60s. In any random order. I don't even know if I completed any sets. I must have completed some. I'm just hitting 60s around my base.
Yeah, I don't even highlight. I just randomly select it. And
yeah, so 56 million points in about less than an hour.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop sharing now.
Okay, mate. Yeah. Venom, come on, mate. Tell us about your alliance and your because you said you had a few issues.
A few issues. The first day.
I'll say issues, all right. You chat, mate, because I'm gonna fire up the game and have a little play at this thing.
The first day was just garbage. It was awful. For a lot of people, they could not hit a target at all. If you hit the target, it would kick you out to the map, and your fleet would be sitting there for a good 20-30 minutes.
That was about 3 hours in, wasn't it? Yeah, I had the same thing. Finished the stream, went and got a coffee, came back, and all of a sudden went to my first target and went, hang on a minute, it's just booting me out, put me back to the base. Right, it must be me. So I've refreshed, and then it booted me back out again, and it happened about 5 or 6 times. And I sent a ticket in, and then obviously it was on Discord as well, and everyone's like, oh, it's we're fixing it. And then all of a sudden the sound started coming back on as well. What was all that about? So something
reset your settings more.
Something spooky happened, didn't it?
Yeah, that was really messed up.
They just said don't hit any targets. Like, okay,
yeah, because that helps, wasn't it?
Raid. Yeah, I'll just watch other people do the raid and sit there quietly.
But it wasn't for everybody. It seems it only seemed like a certain people.
There's just certain people, and they pick and choose.
I thought it was a British at one stage, but it wasn't because it definitely happened to some people overseas as well. So, but everybody, you said you were having the problem. I was having the problem. I know Wayne, he's in the UK. He was having the problem. I thought it must be UK servers then. And then I jumped on the forums and Discord, and then it started to happen to various people as well. So it was either spreading or I don't know. Don't know what the cause was, but it was very odd.
I don't know. The only issue I've been having is the first night the music was coming back on and like it reset your settings.
Did you remember what it actually sounded like? I've forgotten how bad it was.
I forgot what it sounded like.
I don't like
it was horrendous and so loud, so loud. I was like, "That, my God!"
I was chilling, listening to music, and I had the volume very high up. Refreshed the game, and it died.
I forgot.
Find the
forgotten
button.
just how right it is. I mean, the UK, you watch a TV program and then they'll put the adverts on in between, and they always put the advert volume really, really high to sort of like wake you up if you're having to fall asleep in front of the TV program. And it was just like that moment. I was like that. Oh yeah, refresh the game. It'll be all good. The screen will go, and it just went boom. I was like, bloody hell! It was horrendous.
It's like one of those moments where your YouTube playlist goes on to one of those really bad songs. You're like, what the hell am I listening to?
All my YouTube playlists are bad. Don't worry about it. You've heard my streams, haven't you? The music's horrendous. But it's free. Hey. Oh dear. Yeah. So go on, mate. So keep going. So first couple of hours, horrendous. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Running out of crews and that sort of stuff, because that's what I was doing. I was running down a freaking quite a decent crew.
Yeah, I did demo squad on. It wasn't
Oh,
a terribly happy moment.
isn't
They did end up refunding it after pleading, because it's a demo squad. It's not easy to get, but their whole handling of the situation wasn't terribly.
well, I got told
good.
off.
It was what, you got told off?
Yeah, I got told off in
Wow.
Discord. So I reported it and I went, look, I've still got this issue. They went, yes, I know. Or something along those lines. I went, ooh, I've been told.
I got yes, we know. Just don't get any targets. It's like, oh, come on.
Oh, yeah, I got that as well.
No, that's only half the story, Venom. The real
Yes, I
the
put in
story's
3
funnier.
tickets. I put in
So,
3 tickets for it.
It happened to me first before it happened to Venom. I was hitting a lower level target of 41 to try and test out and see if the original Tideseekers would work well for some of the littles. And my fleet got stuck. I submitted a ticket. I was getting no response. The thing then happened, Venom. He got the same expert reviewing his ticket, gave him 50 coins immediately. I'm sitting there half an hour later, still same expert, no response. So I grabbed a screenshot of Venom's ticket, sent it in, and goes, "Where's my coin?"
And then he got more than me.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Consistency.
Well, I did get my ticket answered. I must admit, very quickly. I was quite surprised, and I don't get any special treatment. I can promise you. But I did complain in Discord first, and then I put it into the CMs, and I copied in a bit of the Discord as well. So I don't know. I don't know if that helped or not. But I'm really liking change the subject slightly quickly and a bit of a tangent. I am liking the Discord thing, because there are genuinely people in there quite sort of like all the time. The mods are in there a lot, and it's a bit. I don't know what it is. It seems to be a little bit more grown up at the moment. Maybe it's because it's new and not so many people are using it, but it's more grown up in the forums. And actually, all the mods are being bloody good, I think, to be honest.
Corbin from support is very good.
Excellent, yeah. I mean, and he's not saying, "Oh, have you gone and got yourself $50 worth of tokens first before I answer your question?"
And he's not saying, "Oh, have you cleared your cache? Have you done all this?" The usual copy paste response. It's
I implore anybody that's playing the game, that's especially low levels, or the free players, do it. Discord costs absolutely nothing. Download it, and they seem to be informing everybody of all their latest stuff on there before they do it anywhere else. It's really quite.
You don't even need to download anything unless you're on your mobile phone, but on the browser, it's just a browser tab. I have nothing installed, and I'm using the Discord page.
Oh, I just got it on my phone. That's all I've got it. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, someone's complaining today it wasn't voice. Can you imagine how bad it would? The targets, did that, and all of a sudden you couldn't get in. It would just be hell. You wouldn't.
I wouldn't hear any more of you wankers.
Exactly, mate. Yeah, you'd be like that. Mute. So I get it, but at least because it's text, you can follow it. And it is sort of interesting how many people seem to talk an awful lot on there. But yeah, I'm quite impressed with the Discord channel. I've stunned my kids have actually got it on my phone even. So it's quite. Yeah, it's quite good. They were like, "Dad, why have you got that on your phone?" I went, "Oh, mind your own business. Don't worry about it." But, "Oh, it's that Battle Pirates game, isn't it? I bet." That you've been playing for like ever. And we've had like 15 games. But anyway, not to worry. Benjamin, you've just hopped in. Hi, buddy.
Hey, how you doing, Guy?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. How is your raid, mate? How are you getting on? What are you using and what points are you at? What are you doing?
I'm using 5 bat rays. Haven't really done a lot in the raid. Haven't had the time.
All right, okay.
But I'm at 70 mil.
Okay, so you got yourself a flagship and some other bits, yeah?
Yeah.
Are you going to bother with the second fleet, or are you going for the tokens, or are you just going for something else?
I'm just gonna go for tokens, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we've got one more raid, and it shouldn't be escalation, but it might be. And then we've got to go and get the next hole then for the next raid series after that. So I'm going to grizz it out and be the idiot probably that never did 2 fleets and really complain in 2 months' time. But I thought just it'd be an experiment to see if you can suffer it, and if it cost me any more than than it would be to get another flagship out, which is like 20 days, I think, on average. Is it? Most people think the flagships are about 20 days roughly for a build.
I know a skeleton build's 10.
Yeah, I think I saw. Yeah, in fact, Ren and I were talking about builds last night, and I think I saw mine popped up about 19 days and something rather. With one of the officers on it, And then what the normal ones? They put 12 days each, something like that. So if you're going to be doing that area, sort of like there are some obviously tokens in FM, but you'd be still pushed to refit your current fleet to what you want it to be, and then to put out a second fleet for next month without doing some sort of coining. So I thought I'll save my coin and then just use the extra bit to go with the same fleet I've got now and see if that's a valid option. Might not be. I don't know. We'll see.
If people only have 4 razors and they are struggling, and they do have the ability to spare about 10 to 12 days of tokens,
Yeah.
you can get the flagship with the armor specials, armor, and the engines, and that's all you really need on the Razor flagship anyway. All you're really using is a speed boost to get out of the cryofields, and then.
See, I was thinking about what if the person with the bat rays, a good fleet, has got all his counters on there, was basically then just going to use the flagship for the razors and stick on as much splash dispersal as possible and maybe use it as a flagship. But I just don't like the way the flagships are flipping taking all the hits from these torpedoes. It's putting me off.
I mean, who knows if it's going to be like this next time?
I don't know, mate. That's just it. We never do we? So
it seems to be high evade works a little bit better. So if you're running the flagship, you could put high evade on it.
Yeah, I mean,
there's people running around using evade crews and doing much better.
Yeah, because I got a build that I was sort of like tinkering around with last night, and with 3 splash dispersal, splash reduction items on it as well. The turn was like 260 or something stupid, But also then, the evade was quite high, and I thought, well, actually, if you switch then to the evade crew, that would push up again, and you'd be up in the sort of 70s and 80s then.
And I can't say it's a pattern, but I've noticed people with bat rays being really happy with Sea Serpent crew.
Mm-hmm.
And people with razor tails not being that happy. Like, it seems the crew for some reason helps the bat rays more than it helps the razor tails. I don't have enough data points to say that like as a fact, but it's an impression I have at the moment.
Yeah,
it could be because the bat ray owners are forced to confront the Nighthawks for longer,
chase them forever.
It could be. You're right.
Yeah.
Because the bat rays by nature already are faster turners than the razor tail. So you think it would be the opposite, that extra turn for the razor would be great, but it's not.
It doesn't seem to be, does it? No.
No, but for the bat ray folks report like a good, significant improvement in repair time when they use that. I'm doing like the 3 crews that I'm using and they're good for me: Molotov Maidens, Steelheads, and Deadeye Destroyer. These 3 are helping me like big time. All 3. Any of the 3 I put on, they all reduce my repair time. The Deadeye Destroyer was the best.
Yeah, that's good. I was using, what's the one that does the speed up 30%? It's the 3-star.
That's Remote Raiders, the drone one.
Yeah, I used that earlier on, and I got literally, if you're going to use a Grease Monkey crew, I got a whole set down for 2 coin. If you were going to fix it, it was just under 4 coin. It was like 45 minutes for one, and I think it was like 68 minutes or something for the other one. And that was just using 5 of the normal ships. So I thought that was quite decent. And it's just the fact that I was able to, I sort of like, I think I titled it "Drive It Like You Stole It" or something like that. I was able to then outrun all those flipping torpedoes that cause the ice fields, even with the razor tails. So I was just driving around and making them, because you can turn much faster than what they can. They've got a terrible arc, haven't they? So I I actually quite enjoyed it as well. It's a good
Yeah.
bit.
And after talking to Hefe on Discord, I decided to take the plunge, and I removed the countermeasure loader from the two ships.
Oh,
I
how'd that
still
go?
have the 6 gales,
Mhm.
but no countermeasure loader anymore. And you know what? Still doing great. I put explosive
Yeah.
system 4 on one, combustion system on the other one. So I have a mix of 3 CS2, 2 ES4, and I'm happy.
Yeah, see, I did not. Yeah, I must admit, I'm generally quite content because those morts seem to come in really, really slowly, don't they? That you can sort of like outmaneuver them quite reasonable.
And many of them don't leave the ice field. It's just a few.
Mm.
Yeah. And I have bat rays, and I do love the evade cruise, because it's if I use steelheads in a 100, I get about 35 minutes of damage.
Mhm.
And when I put an evade crew on, I get it down to about 21 to 23 minutes of damage
Nice.
for the 100, and it helps a lot with the lead ship, because it breaks down to about 6 minutes of damage in the dock. So I just hit the 100s for 6 minutes of damage and then send it back out, and the rest of them are instant repair. But I have
That's
what
what
is it, 48% of splash reduction.
Mhm.
And then Corey, who shows up, he's gotten his bat rays, and he runs the evade crew. He's at least a couple times he's sent me screenshots of 13 minutes of damage for the 100.
Wow. And that's
Yeah.
more evade, yeah, on the rays.
No, these are bat rays. Yeah, bat
Yeah,
rays.
not the rays,
I was
yeah.
thinking razor tail. I was
Sorry, no, yeah, rays. So bat rays, yeah, bats. Call them
Yeah,
bats.
And are you still not doing the 102s, Hefe?
not yet. I'm planning to start doing those tomorrow, because I got like 25 or so
Stacked
100 stacked up, but I'll start doing those tomorrow. I mean, because I'll get to 7.5 million for each one I hit. So, I haven't
It's
started
gonna
with it yet.
virtually multiply whatever points you have by 4.
Yeah. So I'm in good, relatively good shape. I have about 160 at this point, so I'll hit a few of them tomorrow, and each one be worth 7.5. But it's so easy to hit the 100s and basically bring them back, 6 minutes of repair, do something, then go out and hit another one. Go out and it just feels as opposed I'm not the player that like you like to just drain it to the end and then walk away for however many hours, 10 hours, and then come back and hit it again. I prefer to hit a couple, go away for a while, and then, come back and, not take the 8-hour break, but take a.
Yeah, no, I that's why I was just destroying my fleet now, doing 10 targets, because now I'm going to go out, I eat some pizza with some friends, and God knows when I'm going to be back home. So my fleet's repairing for 8 hours, and that suits me. You're right.
Whoa,
It's different
Yeah.
styles, right?
You're going to go and have a
Yeah.
life. What?
Yeah.
Pizza, I mean, if you can call pizza having a life, I'm going out for pizza with friends.
Oh, I'm impressed, mate. Right, can you see my screen? So I've set it up now right at the start. Look in the corner. So I put number 1 in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I've got obviously the 4 ships there now in the stack. So I've dropped the number 1 off, and so now I'm going to drive the 4. Not very fast. Obviously, got no crew on, so just thought I'd
Press
mess it
the
up.
down key.
Are these batteries? They are, yeah, they're batteries.
Oh, splitting there. The more you turn, the more they start to split. If you
So is it the
stop-
turn, not the forward? Then is that what you mean?
Yeah.
It's the turn down stacks down.
All right. Okay.
Especially like when you start doing 180s and
Okay.
things
Let's
like
do some
that. and then
plans.
you start
Oh, I see what you mean.
getting
Yeah, they are unstacking, aren't they?
See, when
Yeah.
you stop, it gets worse.
When you
If you stop,
well,
press the
stop there.
down
Then.
key. If you press the down key when you're moving,
Oh, I'm not going to press the down key. Never. I'll just let them stop. I never press the down key. Not in these.
That's funny.
Not when I'm trying to do everything and I'm on 2 screens.
Yeah, but the further you drive this, the worse it gets, and so it's
Yeah, you can see they're unstacked already.
yeah.
Yeah, they're
But
not ideal. You know, you're right. And I wasn't having that issue in oh, look at that. Look, see, that's quite a gap. So it's always basically got to wait for them to reconnect. Yeah, look at that as I was turning there. Well, it definitely wasn't having that problem before.
No. Yeah, and I like I killed about
Like
to
a
this
tight
point,
set.
and I was getting about the same amount of damage as a whole set when I was doing it this way. with the flag in the corner.
So what do you think is causing that then? Because that wasn't happening before.
I think it's part of the slowdown. Well, Venom and Ren said it happens all the time. It wasn't happening with you before.
No, it wasn't.
My guess is it's some combination of the accelerate function and the slowdown function.
Let's go around here and do a
It
couple of
was.
circles a minute.
It does the same on the Manticores as well, except it's slightly worse. Trying to do the Manticore, I had the flagship, the first raid, as a shell in the corner.
Yeah.
And it was just a nightmare. Might as well just take the flagship out because it would never stack.
I mean, it's not the end. I mean, okay, it's not ideal. I mean, if you were driving, if you were driving a subset like this, you'd be beside yourself, wouldn't you? But seeing as both these holes are basically blitzers, it's not the end of the world.
But I guess the way I'm driving it, they actually split. They weren't even, when I would do a 180, one would go off in one direction, another one would go off in another direction, and I would get much wider spread of my ships.
Yeah, but TSM doesn't have your classic ballet formation, so he can do a split.
Yes. Doesn't have my flexibility.
I don't have the flex that you've got, mate. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a youthful voice, but I've got a very old body.
But yeah, you're seeing a little bit of them not stacking. My issue is much larger. I guess this is the way I was driving the target.
I was just wondering if it happens if I jump in. I'm trying to get part of it in the ice field, but not the other half, and then it's still not. Yeah, I don't know.
Too many variables, connection. Computer.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I am very fortunate. I'm on a blisteringly fast connection here, but I'm right next to the main junction box for the telephone company. So,
it's in front of my house as well. My connector, the switch box from the company is in front of my house, and I have fiber coming all the way into my home. So
literally right to the front door. It's really good. However, I'm about to move house, and that won't be the case. So God knows what's going to happen in a couple of months. I'm moving somewhere else. So
dial up.
It could literally be that bad. I'm going to a little place in the middle of nowhere, so which I've never even heard of.
Australia.
Witness relocation?
That's not the little place, is it? Australia, it's a little bit bigger than a little bit of jungle.
Oh, sorry, their internet's not that good.
Oh right, I got you. Yeah. So anyway, right, that's boring. That's enough of that. Right, just thought I'd show you. So
yeah,
is that the way you're driving them every time?
No, I'm just messing about, mate.
Okay.
This is the base that's only got the flagship and that's it, and the rest of it I just mess around. And if someone says something, I'll jump on this one. And like I said, I've got 3 or 4 other alt bases. So if someone's got a problem, I'll jump in and then.
That's a driving class. I mean, that's how TSM defeats the target without firing a single salvo. He just annoys them to death, and they commit suicide.
Yeah, I do 360s donuts, and they just go, "Wow, look at that!" And they fall over dead.
I mean, it did remind me, like the one thing I thought would, because I enjoy hitting the 100 target at this point.
Yeah, I do.
The one thing I was like that it make me enjoy it more is if, like with the last skirmish cycle, with their own fields and whatnot, impacts their ships. Because you remember that, like if they got hit by because if they got hit by mortars,
they took themselves out.
Yeah, and I would enjoy that here,
But you could encourage them to go into their own fire, couldn't you? You could draw them towards that way and go, right, okay.
By the way, I'm glad
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm glad Hefe mentioned that he's enjoying the target. Anyone else enjoying the targets? Because I am.
I am, yeah. Even PK. Remember PK? The man I banned from our page? He was in my alliance, as I always find funny, bless him. He actually said he's enjoying the raid. I was like, what?
Yeah, so that makes 2 grumpy guys enjoying the raid, because there was another guy on the page as well who's usually very critical of everything, and he made a very positive comment about the raid.
Yeah, although he's not liking driving it's obviously bat rays in the 102 target, finds it really annoying, obviously, because he can't kill the subs very quickly, but I'm sure we'll get around to sorting something out about that. But it's not designed, is it, it can be killed by the bat rays, but it's not designed for the bat ray, as they've always said.
I think the point that Hefe made there about the damage, even if it wasn't that the Mort's damaged, and it was just the ability that you could drag them through their own fields and slow them down, I think even that would be more useful.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah.
There's a good. I should say, highlighting Benjamin's picture. He's got a picture from Blackwater days. Look at that. Look. As his logo, I like that. That's good. Uncovering the sea. God, I remember those days. Anyway, sorry.
6-7 gunboats going side by side.
Until someone snipes
oh,
you.
look, it's a base. Oh, look, it's a level 10 mine.
Remember the days when people go, "Yeah, I'm over here. Where are you? I can't find you." You know,
it's a level 10 platinum mine. Oh my god! And then everybody fighting for it.
Yeah, and you'd sit your gunboat, try and sit it right next to it, and then someone would sink you. And then you go that next day, and all of a sudden it was covered over again. Remember that when the Blackwater used to cover itself back over after a period of time as well?
I don't remember that.
I wasn't around then.
It was
uncovered. If I remember, it was uncovered for good.
No, well, it must be my case or something. I don't know, but there's definitely something. I don't know whether the Blackwater bit was cleared through your computer and it stayed in your cache or whatever. But I remember parking. I remember my brother-in-law was doing it as well. You park up gunboats everywhere, and all of a sudden, like someone would sink your gunboat, and the next day you come back, and then you had to go and find the base again. It was freaking annoying. So.
Yeah,
Did this happen once, or did this happen to you multiple times?
Oh,
No,
multiple times.
It was a bug that happened all the time. It just
Yeah.
you could have a fleet in the middle of the map, and it's just a little circle around it.
Yeah,
You didn't know where it was, what was beside it, why you had it there.
yeah, no reason whatsoever. Yeah, it was annoying.
It was TSM's own fault doing too many donuts to smoke generating.
It probably was. Yeah. Speedboat on stealth. Oh, dear.
And Battlelog was going to ruin the game.
Do you know, I honestly think they should. No, maybe not. I was thinking they should do a TLC in Blackwater. So instead of you got to go and find the target. I don't know. I think it'd be quite funny. You just got go into a completely black screen, and it's just uncovering it, and then basically.
Everyone will think they crashed.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, you got that. Something wrong with my thing.
Back in the day where anyone could guard your base, and it was instant guard, wasn't 45-second wait.
Oh God, do you remember that? 20 people stacking up, going, he's not getting in, he's not getting in. So you'd have 20 people attacking and 20 people stacking on the outside. Yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yeah. Right. So what have we adjusted to? So, blimey, 3/4 now gone already. Who has adjusted their fleet compared to what they started with on Thursday?
Me.
You
Me.
have. So, yeah, I mean, I must admit, no, I haven't actually because I've been lazy. But Venom, what did you have initially, and what have you taken off, mate?
I've taken the field resistance off and put splash dispersion on. So I've taken the tactical resistor off and put the hyper 30 on, and
Yeah,
that's
okay.
the slow fields didn't really get affected at all by the special, so it was basically pointless, and splash reduction helps tremendously with your damage.
It is, yeah. I mean, as I said, I spoke to Ren last night and a couple of others as well. I'm going to probably refit and put 3 different type of splash reduction ones on, and particularly the bat ray fleet that I've got here that I was just playing with then, because I mean that gets you up to I can't remember what the numbers were. It's a really, really high low and a high evade as well, and then the forward speed is so fast that even if you did hit those, slowdown effects, then at least you'd be able to just plow right through, or plow through a lot better than what you would do normally. So, and I tested that really. That's why I put that remote raiders crew on, because that gave me a boost on speed, and that was quite impressive. That crew, I must admit, I was quite chuffed using that, even with the razor tails. So,
What I didn't realize was you could put hyper 30 and skirmish battery on.
yeah, and the thruster 4 thingy. Yeah, all of them with obviously splash reduction. So
That gets you over 50%, and in the end, you're going to be trading resistance for splash damage reduction. Right?
I'm just trying to figure out which is better, if the warhead reloader or the skirmish battery is better, because you're getting the 75% reload but same damage,
but it's the
but
splash.
less splash reduction.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to see if the damage output is worth.
Do you have cluster warheads, Venom?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because you already get to 0.3 reload, 0.36, something like that, with just cluster warheads and 75% rank bonus. So you gain a little bit with the reload from the warhead, but minimal. And even the damage, I mean, you think you're going to get a lot. I mean, when I put skirmish battery and I compare the one ship with and the one without, the gain in the damage is minimal. Like it went from 905 to 954 on that ship, right? Because you're adding that percentage, 25%, let's say, from skirmish battery, and the base rocket damage, and the ship already has 300%. So the actual gain is, oh yeah, from 300 to 325. It's a small gain.
That was worth testing.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying all the gains that it gets to a point where all the gains we're talking about are small. You gain, you gain 8% splash damage reduction, or you gain 25% damage, or you gain it's all, but you're getting that and losing 0.1% resistance. So the resistances are at a point where I think Hefe and I were talking about that last night. Like maybe try remove one by one the CTX armor and start putting the EV armor and see how that goes.
Yeah, that new evade one, and maybe you can.
It's turn, combat, speed,
yeah.
both, and evade.
Yeah, it could help, couldn't it? Because the combat speed seems to be the. I mean, I'm really. I have to say, and a couple of people have said it as well. There is some fun aspects in these targets. The driving around. I was having a right laugh earlier on, driving around to try and get as many torpedoes chasing me. And I think I had, in one of the, I think the one, the 100 one, isn't it? That's right. I was driving my Razors. I think is there 6 inters in there at one stage? Is it, or is it more than that? I don't know. But anyway, they were all firing at one stage, and I had all the torpedoes chasing me, and I was going around in circles, and I managed to evade. I just find it funny. I don't know why. It just made me laugh. Maybe I'm a bit simple. I don't know, but. Yeah, I thought that was quite a fun target. So, I quite enjoy the targets. I don't like the way they've upped and down the damage, but they're always going to do that now. They've admitted they do it, so they've got to find a happy return to keep their home fires burning. But it's always at our expense. The bit that really frustrates me, and I spoke to Ford, who's modding in the chat there, about it today, is how the hell are you supposed to adjust your fleet build when the damage isn't consistent? I really wish they could have done that before, and they go, right, that's it. We're happy where we are, and then just leave it alone. Even if it actually costs them in the first raid, leave that bloody thing where it is. Because if we're trying to adjust and make our final adjustments, you're actually doing us a disservice. It really freaking annoys me. My pet hates.
Did I not do something similar in the siege raid? Because whenever I built my bucks first, I refitted to what worked the first raid. Then the second raid I had to refit again because it switched the damages. Then I had to refit the third raid back to what I had because they'd flipped the damages again. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember people who are going, oh, it's LA3 is the best special. Oh, no. Go back to the Radio X CR, whatever. Oh, no, go back to LA, or vice versa. I remember that.
Yeah, it was chopping and changing. But hey, come on, let's go back to. I nearly got myself in trouble, as I said, because I wanted to expose them. Remember we said about the countermeasure for scenario, what, 2-3 months ago now, where they changed the capability of the countermeasures, and 1 minute all of a sudden they could shoot down the missiles, and all of a sudden you had to change your countermeasures midway through a raid cycle because they would no longer shoot down the countermeasure. You had to go a completely different avenue. That was bang out of order. Now, why didn't they announce that publicly? And then just give people some free tokens so they could have actually refitted for nothing. That I thought was pretty disgusting, and I voiced my comments about that, and leaked out a small video that I shouldn't have done, but tough. In the day they did something really I thought was quite distasteful, and I don't like that sort of stuff, and that doesn't win them trust at all.
So back when the charged armor first came out, there was issues with it not working 100%, and people refitted the armor off. They changed the armor to work better. Then they upped the build time of it. So not only did you refit off, but you had to refit it back on for an extra time.
When was that, mate?
That was back when the charged armor first came out.
Oh, my brain doesn't remember that. Right. Just so it's sort of like 50 minutes in now. What do we think about this fact that they've adjusted the prize pool? I thought it was quite interesting why people were complaining they put extra prizes in. And I'm not quite sure what they're complaining about, because if you don't want them, don't get them. No one's saying you've got to.
I think they were complaining about the prize of the Hyper 30.
Yeah. Well, that's a separate thing we'll chat about in a second. But people were complaining about this. Oh, why is there PvP stuff in the prize pool now? Well, if you don't want it, don't get it.
You
Yeah,
may
it's
give
not-
people a bar of gold and they'll complain. It's just like whatever. There's some prices. You already have them, good. You don't want them, good. You want them, go get them if you can. It's just like whatever.
It's a bit like the FM, isn't it? When they said, right, we're going to put in rotate the turrets. They're trying to get the turrets out, and it makes sense, I suppose, that they're giving as many options as possible to get them.
And the point is like nobody's forced to get anything. I mean, especially if you already have a couple of those turrets, like I do, you don't need to max them out. I mean, you don't need 8 of each.
The price for it is a bit stupid though. They had
It is in a way, but when it was one shard per S set, someone's just crashed it. That's quite funny.
That was me.
That's Jamie's just crashed it. Look, white screen of death. Way, I saw it.
you can go back to the last raid and say, oh, well, it was shards last raid. But if you take into consideration they've been selling the thing along with ship build tokens for the last month.
But it isn't really any
and-
cheaper, though, is it? To be honest.
Well,
It's a freebie. No, I get you. I see what you're saying. No.
I think it was 2 days build token plus a hyper 30 for 50 gold.
Okay, let's flip it on its head then.
Compared
So
to 25 million
probably
points.
No, the one for 50 gold was giving MDS 3. The one for Hyper 30, you're actually paying the full price on the token, no discount on the token, but you got the Hyper 30.
correct. That's the only bonus you got. You got the special. You got a special straight off, no shards, no messing.
Yeah, the
Well, I was
one
gonna say-
that was really good, and I bought it every time it came out, was the 2 days for the price of 1 day token and the MDS. Even though I don't need more MDSs, but that's 50% off on the token price.
Yeah, I mean,
With gold that I already paid cheaper because it was like, 79 gold for $5, whatever.
yeah, it is intriguing. Hefe, because you're hitting only the hundreds, then. So let's think about it, right? So it's 25 million. Just to say you wanted some hyper 30s, okay, and you wanted to get the 2, then go and buy the other 3. I think it is that's in the purchase store. So to get 50 million, what would that cost you in coin using your ships? Forget the time, but how many? I mean, I know how many targets it takes to hit them, but what would that? How many fixes do you have to do for your ships? Do you think to get 50 million? If Hefe's still there, or anybody to get that. I'm just wondering what 50 million actually costs you, apart from the time. What does it actually cost you?
In money or in time? In money, it's costing me.
In money, to fix your ships. I mean, imagine if you only had 4 ships. So it's sort of like looking for someone that's got an odd, unusual fleet, like a 4-ship fleet, or a mixed combo sort of stuff. So I mean, I've got mine all with hyper 30, so it's not realistic for me to even answer the question. But if you haven't got hyper 30, I wonder what it would cost you to then go and anybody in chat that's on the sideline there. What would it cost you in comparison? So we know what it is to buy.
50 million, about $2.
It's about $2. So that's the point. I'm wondering, is it cost effective? Because we know what it is in pounds to go and get a hyper. I mean, yeah, you get 2 days worth of ship build tokens, but is it cheaper than just to go, well, I've got the time, so why not just go and get 25 million?
But if you're having to go get if you're having to get the hyper 30 to do the raid, then you won't be able to get the 25 million to start with.
But a lot of people didn't go hyper 30 as an option.
There's a lot of people,
I started without the Hyper 30, I think, and was okay-ish. And I just got like cheaper when I put the Hyper 30 on, of course. But yeah, you can do without it.
Yeah.
I'm finding with my fleet, because I'm refitting it now with the Hyper 30 on, it's saving me about 10 minutes per ship.
So per target, you're getting a half-hour reduction across the whole fleet now.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good.
Like I said, it's doable without. I mean, it's a little bit more expensive, of course, but doable. And if you, of course, you don't get all the bonuses, but if the main thing is the splash damage reduction, you can get that from skirmish battery. You don't get the extra speed, right?
No, that's the only. Yeah, exactly.
Or the extra projectile speed, which also helps because the targets move fast.
So intriguingly, looking at the prize, but there are some really old prizes in there that haven't been, in the game. And I'm a blueprint collector. That's just like the prints. Don't know whether I need them or not. But I did smile, a couple of the prizes. I mean, I have to scroll down through now because obviously they got the flipping shards and that sort of stuff. Splash upgrade. It's not been around for long, but it hasn't been around for a long time. But that was quite expensive. The one that was really, really expensive. Scrambler cannon. 8 million points.
And I know that's something George kept asking for because he wanted that prize, and I think on town hall or something he mentioned that would be something that hasn't been offered in years, and there's a function for it.
Yeah. There is a function for the game.
Yeah.
But so I mean, my point is there are items in this prize pool that have got nothing to do with the raid. So people don't think, there are a couple of items in here and we go, oh yeah, that must help my ships and I must get it and then put it on. That isn't actually the case. That's the point I want to make. There are some items in here that are going to do nothing for this raid cycle at all.
Correct. They're niche blueprints for niche applications that some people who like going fancy on their builds use it. And it's good if you know exactly what you're doing. Otherwise, just stay away from it.
There's items in there that don't need to be in there. The cluster warheads you can get from salvages anyway. Just go out and hit the salvages. Why would you spend...
Quite expensive as well, isn't it? I mean, the cluster...
What, 8 million for it?
It was, 8 million something on cluster warheads.
Why would you spend 8 million points to get cluster warheads when you can go hit it for free?
Not everyone has the patience to do it.
Put a crayon.
Said the lady with no patience.
Really?
You can put a lucky
who just crashed again? She's done it again.
That's because I don't have it on my laptop.
Righty.
On my desktop. My desktop's the one that has the issues with the crashing.
Oh, wow.
That's the only way I can share it because I don't have it on per se.
Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? Flipping heck.
It is.
Yeah. So, okay. So we're not really liking the price of the Hyper 30s. It's a debate whether it's viable or not for the costing. I suppose if you need them, that's a lot of points. Well, it is a lot of points. There's no doubt about it. And is it achievable to get those points with a really duff fleet? So maybe it's better if you really are pushing. But there's no point in having one on a ship. You want them all on all the ships. Otherwise, it's a bit of a farce really, and a false economy. Because it is as simple as. What do you reckon about the prize ladder, the way it's been set up? Are we happier that, I mean, I didn't realize it once you go straight into a tier 7 and you collect something straight away, unlocks the other ones below, which is, I thought it was going to be a case of having to unlock everything, but that wasn't the situation. So are you generally, or is that just me because I've got all the blueprints maybe? I don't know.
It happened to me as well.
Do you prefer the system, or what do you think?
I think it's just you guys because I've got tier 5 still locked and I've been redeeming from tier 7.
Okay.
It must be like a keystone blueprint or something, or a number of blueprints that you need to have.
Okay, so what don't you have in tier 5 then? Must be something then.
I don't know. I'll have to have a look.
I don't know.
Probably something
probably not worthwhile.
Something that's really cack.
I'm curious why they decided to put Razor Tool and Bat Ray build tokens both in tier 7 and tier 6. So in tier 7 you got 5 one-day tokens of both, and then you scroll down to tier 6 and you've got 5 one-day
That's
tokens.
probably because some
Right.
people who have a hard time getting tier 7 prizes. I mean, if they can get something from tier 6, you already get 5 tokens.
But it's also encouraging to unlock another level, isn't it? Like as Sanders just said there, if he's got to get if they were in tier 5, he would have to go and get the tier 7 unlocked, and then also spend a small amount, whatever it is, 1.3 or 2 million. It looks like to unlock tier 5 unlock here, then you could get into there as well. So I mean, they are putting a bit of pain, but what you haven't got to do is go all the way to the top of a ladder and get. Which remember we've done it before. I've already got this. I've already got that. I don't want to collect that hole because I'm never going to build it in a million years. But we used to have to go to the top of a ladder of a tree, collect a hole that maybe you never knew you were never going to build before you could get into the store in behind the lock store.
Yeah, there's the Apex Hunter I don't have.
Right. Okay, mate.
I've got prototypes and I've got fangtooths. I never needed it. So
it's the Apex.
If it wasn't the way the store's currently set up, I'd have to spend 2 million on a hull that I'm never going to build.
Right, gotcha. Okay. Is that a small price to play, do you think, in comparison to what the block store used to be? Getting up behind a tier, we've got to get the special, some rubbish stuff at the bottom first, last year's hulls generally, and then a hull and a special and a weapon, and then go into the lock store. I'm just wondering, do you think it's an improvement? This is more like the FM, is it not?
It's much better.
Yeah, I like
much
it.
better.
Because you can buy some cheap stuff. You can buy some uranium, which might be useless, but at least the price is low in order to gain access.
Exactly. Instead of like 20, 30, 40 million points to unlock the store at the very top.
Yeah.
And there are no blueprints. I mean, before they put the flagships in the locked store and whatnot, the locked store this time has nothing that's a must-have item. It's all great to have, like the tokens. Nothing there is a must-have.
And that was the other point. Yeah, the tier 7 stuff. I mean, the Hyper 30s in there, that sort of stuff. Now and all those PvP cannons and turret tops and that sort of stuff. There. But yeah, the rest of it was all like really uninteresting, or get it if you want it sort of stuff. But it wasn't really. There was no game-changing stuff, was there? And there still isn't.
Yeah, the only thing I would suggest is potentially, for the haul rate, the haul related raid tokens, at least have a couple available in the unlock store for people that show up in the raid and be like, I'm screwed. I built wrong and I don't have the ability to change my ship without getting X number of points. That's the only thing I would suggest, is make some of them available in an unlocked store. The one, like the Bat Ray and the Razor Tail.
To be a bit crazy here, I had no Tide Seekers because mine were scrapped long time ago. And I did the TLC and I instantly built a fleet of Tide Seekers, and they were doing the tier 6. Tier 6, the 60s, right? Mm-hmm. They were doing the 60s for less than 25% damage to the fleet.
Yeah.
So I could easily get the 4 million points for tokens and start working on my top fleets, like for free.
Yeah, I mean, I found a really good, well-built set of Tide Seekers that were ending up in certain targets better than the Hunters. When the Hunters first came out, well-built Tide Seekers were surprisingly strong with the right armors on and that sort of stuff. And now we've got newer armors as well, so and charges as well, because obviously when Tide Seekers came out originally, there was none of that sort of stuff. So you could probably transform and build something quite funky. And Ren's got a video. I know he has. I've seen it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know whether then it's nice to see there are tokens and 10. It's good and that stuff. But maybe then you drop, say, 2 in tier 5 and 3 in tier 6 and 4 in tier 7 or something like that. I don't know, and then 1 in the unlock right at the bottom or something like that, and spread it maybe, or is that not viable?
I think you don't want to overcomplicate it too much, because I'm going to wonder what's going to happen on Tuesday. Or Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever people show up. I didn't realize there was tokens there as well. Searching around and having the tokens in too many places. But at some point, have them immediately available. Because like a friend of mine, she's like, "Oh, okay, well, I didn't have a Hyper 30, and now it takes me 4 hours to do a set, and I need to refit everything to Hyper 30."
Yeah.
But now she's got to buy stuff in order to get to them, because people used to use the generic tokens for that a lot. It's like,
and those days are gone, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So
hey, Mary.
Hey, what I miss?
You're right, mate. Actually, quite a calm hour, mate. You've actually missed, but Device quite intuitive, to be honest. How are you? You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm not really a fan of the raid, but I went the Bat Ray route, thinking, oh yeah, great, depth charges instead of rockets.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Well, it's right in the hundreds.
Yeah, I mean, taking an hour to 2 hour damage in a 100, and then 4 hours in a 102 with just 4 Bat Rays, it's fantastic.
Well, I think that's your build or something, because I haven't changed my build, and I'm still like I said, I get like 21 to 23 minutes of damage on the water with my 4 Bat Rays in the 100. But I maximize the amount of splash damage reduction. So that could be part of the issue, because they didn't give us a lot of information. In the video, we talked about the video as far as like choose your style. I'm like, from that video, I don't even know that they're even different. But and unless you did some experimenting in the second VXP weekend, it's really difficult to tell what works and what doesn't work.
But even Yeah, even the VXP targets weren't honest targets, were they? You know.
True, they weren't honest targets,
Yeah.
but I learned at that point that I wanted to maximize my splash damage reduction from doing that, because that's why I went with Hyper 30 and the skirmish battery on my bat rays, and it worked out quite well. And then, so yeah, you had to do a little bit of research because they weren't giving you this information, which is good or bad. As we talked about before, I really wish that video that before we claimed everything as far as choose your style was. It showed you more about the actual hulls as opposed to, especially the special abilities and how they worked. I wish it was more evident from the videos. Maybe I'll watch the video tomorrow and be like, now that I know what's going on with these hulls,
a hindsight moment. Yeah.
Am I able to find out any more information from these videos than I had before?
That's a good point.
And but yeah, when we watched them, I was like, okay, yeah, they both sort of look the same, based on the videos.
Also, the bat rays speed up and defensive mechanics are broken too, or is it just me?
No, well, we just tested that, the stacking issue. Putting one in the corner thing when I did it on my the warm up, it was perfect, and now it definitely isn't there. I mean, it's not horrendous, and I don't know what to do with. The amount of evade, as in turn as well, thruster and that sort of stuff, or mine are slightly unstacking, but Hefe says he's having some crazy times where they're going even like almost in different directions sort of stuff, as in like one's turning to left while the other ones are turning to right. So are you finding that sort of thing, Mary, or?
For a little while yesterday they were having a stacking issue, but then it seems to have worked itself out. I mean, before I was driving the 4 with the shift click, but then I threw in my armored and engined razor tail. It has like 1 rocket on it, and it seems to fix it. And running a razor tail in my bat ray fleet seems to have helped more than having the flagship in the corner.
Yeah, I bet, because obviously you can raise the subs because they're annoying. They're annoying as hell. Yeah,
how does a depth charge not do more than minimum pass through on a submerged sub? In what realm is that even a relevant and functional player's first mechanic?
It's not. Basically, yeah, it's not. I mean, we've got to suffer something, and that's what they've. I mean, the very fact that they changed them to the Night Hawk, which has stacks more torpedoes on them, and they're faster anyway. And I suppose they could make their Reapers faster if they wanted to, but instantly the second they said, yeah, we've decided to change it to Night Hawks, I thought, oh no. I thought that's because, they want to change the damage around a little bit, and it's easier to do it with Night Hawks, because Night Hawks, when they came out, were always a pain in the ass. And then, obviously, Kixeye do their own version. And, it's not fun when you're chasing one down, especially when 2 are coming at you. You're chasing one down, and the other one's now gone straight across your path and gone out the other side and just keeps dumping torpedoes on you. So, yeah. Not a fan of that.
I tokened out my Bat Ray flagship, and its aura is actually in front of it instead of around it, like it says in the description.
I think it's meant to be in front, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in the front. Yeah, it looks like a mini Inferno Dragon.
Ranger 30, is that right?
That's right in front of it.
Range
Unless they changed the text, like before I read it and after I redeemed it, the initial description said it was going to be right around it.
Yeah, but that was a bit like the flagship for the flipping. What was the Mort Chucker flipping?
The gridiron model.
The gridiron model. Yeah, when it's basically the same thing, but 180 spun, isn't it? It's just like, yeah, thanks for that. That's really exciting. I'd like it to be all the way around 360. So no matter if something is, it just gets it. So
I think it's better in front because you're going to be constantly driving, trying to chase down those subs. So having it in front like that is actually helpful.
You still think that's? I think because I'd like you to be in the center of the aura, and then it just have a range of 30 all around you. Or I'm just greedy.
I mean, if you're running a straight solid Bat Ray fleet, having to chase down those subs, it's fantastic. For some people who run mixed fleets, it's irrelevant. So I mean, yeah, I see your side where around it would be beneficial, but at the same time, also the in front is also has its place in as far as like your driving style.
Alrighty.
What fleet you have.
Yeah.
Mark.
Well, he said it should be at least 180 around you. Is that 180 range, mate? Or is that 180 as in from left to right? I think he means from left to right and in front. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, semicircle.
Yeah, the thing that scares me about that is it's so specific on the ships.
Yeah, and the thing is, you're trying to always avoid ice fields. I mean, it's very easy to leave all the submarines to last, only because they're so hard to kill, But every time you leave a submarine till last, another flipping ship comes in, and you've got to target that one instead of the submarine. And even with the razors, you then got to go, right, conundrum time. I've got the sub up, with the razors. I've nearly killed it, and all of a sudden, the Apex Hunter comes in. And you go, right, do I finish killing the sub, which isn't doing so much damage, or worst of all, the interdictor comes across, and then you're chasing it down because it's that fast. If you've got cut lockdowns, you can slow it down, but they take a long time to kill, and all that time, the subs are still smashing at you. So you've got to go, right, what's the priority here? I mean, for me, it's always the interdictors to get rid of the freaking horrendous torpedoes. But
the easiest way I've found to deal with that, Mark, is simply to sit your bat rays on top of it. In terms of driving, you just sit your bat rays on top of the
sub,
and then you use your shift click to select your priority target.
Yeah, I mean that's generally the video I did. You'll see that, but you generally find the inters are quite fast, and they almost go outside the range, of the aura, which obviously raises the sub. So then you're in a conundrum of, right, do I finish chasing the inter down, or do I turn and stay with the sub, but knowing that the inter is going to kick out another one of those ice torpedoes? It's a challenge, isn't it? But that's the idea.
All the surface stuff first, and then I worry about the subs last, because the torps don't hurt as much as the rockets from them do. And with because it's like you get to evade a lot of the torpedoes from the subs, and with the rockets they deal more explosive damage anyways. It's like the ice fields deal more explosive and concussive. Yeah,
and that's what's
with the razor, it's both 98%, but with the bat rays, you can only get to like 96% explosive and 98 concussive.
So that's the thing that I was talking about today, and we was talking about earlier on about having split phase, and Ozzy was saying it, with one razor, even with one razor in with the bat rays, at least then you're raising the sub up, and the second the raising the sub up, doesn't matter if lockdowns or not, and Templar was saying this on the Discord, that sub slows down straight away. So if that sub slows down straight away, then and it's raised, then it's going to make life a lot easier. But for those individuals that have got 5, obviously, bat rays, you aren't going to slow that submarine down. It's just going to keep charging through, because it's only when it's raised when the slowdown effect happens. So it's a conundrum. It is, but hey,
with the tokens from the raid, you can get out one razor with armor and a thud on it,
which is all you need. Yeah, it's the concept you want, isn't it? Yeah, you just need the engine, the armor stuff, and obviously the turning would be a bit interesting, but yeah. Anyway, a multitude. We could go on all night about different ships and different things and that sort of stuff. Right, we've hit past the hour. We're in fact a quarter past. And 15 minutes into the second one. So, Ozzy, anything you want to close with, mate, before I lock up for the night and we can get back on doing something that we probably should be doing, not this?
I'm all good, mate.
You're good, mate. Okay. Benji, what about you, mate?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Anything you want to wrap up with for tonight?
Just really enjoying this raid, actually. Trying to figure out the targets, figure out the fleet, what can make it better. And thank Heffy for the tip last night with his fleet.
Which was, Heffy, you're next. If Heffy's still here. No, he goes off on tangent. So, what was the tip then? What did he say to you, mate?
On my bat rays, I originally had the counter loader 4 and
right, yeah. Did you take it off?
Took it off, put on the skirmish battery and Hyper 30. And
Huge difference, yeah.
huge.
Splash reduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, who would have thought the splash reduction make quite so much difference? You know, obviously it depends on the splash range of their items, but it is a marked improvement, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it 25 million points worth difference? I don't know, but hey. For those that haven't got all Hyper 30s yet, you know, you have options. There is a way to get 5. It's not cheap and it's not fast, but you can get 5.
Yeah.
Or
I
you
was lucky enough to have 5.
All right. I know even some people have taken them off their PvP ships, you know, and have put them onto their ships now. So, but yeah, no, I agree. It does work. And Ren's done the same thing. Ren's obviously gone off because he's gone for his pizza and his night out with his mates. But he did the same thing. He took off Ceiling 4, Countermeasure Loader 4, and then he put on the same sort of stuff, and he got a marked reduction, considerable reduction, in fact. But yeah, until you see the real targets, you just don't know.
So Hyper 30 works better than the loaders then?
Then Countermeasure Loader, yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
A huge improvement.
Now, what about the two different depth charges? The new limited and the one we have, the Ripsaw.
Well, early reports say it's better, obviously, simply because the way it does damage. But I don't know. I haven't fitted anything on any of the ships yet, so I can't quantify it at all. Whether it's placebo effect, I don't know. But some people are saying that they're enjoying having a couple. I don't know if a couple is going to make that much difference, to be honest. I would have thought unless you had like a stack of 10 up there already and then put in 2 at least on each ship, which is basically, you know, a whole ship across the whole fleet. I don't know if you're going to make that much difference. Has anybody experienced that at all?
I haven't refitted yet.
No, me either.
I'm going to wait until after the raid.
Yeah, so Candy Apple in chat there says that they kill the subs faster. I know the stats are slightly different, the way they work, and it's 20k as opposed to 18k, and the splash, this is nice, the splash increases, you know, if you can keep targets in your range and that sort of stuff, the splash goes up, which is a real big bonus over the other one. But yeah, DPS is, and that's what Effie, I think, was looking at. No, it wasn't Hef. I can't remember who it was, but somebody was talking about it in Discord anyway, and they were saying the DPS is better, not a huge amount, but the splash is interesting. The splash does go up considerably. So,
yeah, I think the one goes from 8,000 to 20,000 damage.
Yeah, well, the 8,000, yeah, that's it, 8,000 to 20,000. The one's 8 to 18 or something like that, isn't it? You know, but it's also the splash as well is the bit I liked, which does help. So. But yeah, again, yeah, you know, it's a shard-based thing, and you've got to get quite a few. So unless you're up into the Jamie's prize pool with, you know, 500 gazillion points, you won't have that many of them.
I'll tell you.
How many have you got?
77 million.
How many?
577 million.
Okay, and of those new Gatling guns, how many have you got now? Have you seen how many have you got?
Last time I looked, it was 9.
Right, so it takes an awful lot then, doesn't it?
5 per shard, or 5 shards per.
Yeah, so it's a flipping lot, isn't it? Blooming heck. So yeah, so you're in a position then. So that's what you got to get then to be able to have 2 per ship, you know, and then obviously then fit them out. So.
I'll end up getting it.
Yeah, but don't forget. I mean, someone did say there was even more coming in the FM, so I wouldn't go refitting just yet. Because you never know.
Yeah, the King and yeah,
something better might come along.
I don't know. I'm not doing anything until after I get the skeleton build out.
Alrighty. Cool. Right.
1.2 billion points.
How much?
1.236 billion.
What?
Number 1 on the leaderboard, global.
Good lord.
I'm not even trying for that.
That's nuts.
Oh God, it's doing the dance.
Is there a prize? I haven't seen it. I mean, I'm taking it. Remember they said last time if you managed to beat the average points or something like that, and so many people were playing, everyone would get a bonus of such and such. Are they doing that this raid or not? I can't remember.
No, there's nothing for this. You're getting up there this time at all.
All right. Okay. So there's nothing.
That's
well,
why
there
I'm
is.
not trying.
There's the option to get some Hyper 30s for 50 million.
I don't know. I thought that was bogus at one time that they only gave you 1 ship build token out of everybody just 'cause people logged on.
Unless they're just doing it that, you know, right, they'll take the raiding from the first raid and then the next raid in the same series, they'll see if there's more people coming on, and that's maybe they're going to do it that way. I don't know, but they did say they were going to do it again, so I don't know.
Oh, maybe hopefully they give out more ship build tokens.
Yeah, we want 50 next time, all right?
We want generics in the raid period.
It'd be nice to have the generic tokens back.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't see that ever happening again now. I really don't.
Which I think is bogus. I mean, people got ships they gotta build, but they can't build them with the tokens if it's all hull specific.
It is whole HUD specific. I absolutely get you. And I think that's done deliberately. I don't know why. I don't have a reason for it, but I do. I do think it's a way of them controlling the game for ease, because generic ship build tokens, then people, fire to PvP, then they fire, I mean, generic skirmish I would like, and generic, assault and that sort of stuff. That at least that'd be something.
Yeah,
or a generic PvE and a generic PvP.
Yeah, even the two sorts. Yeah, that would be handy. But
players first compromise.
It's fiscal, I'm sure. It really is.
I mean, it'd be nice if they would just do the tokens for like the lead. They don't have any tokens for the lead ship either.
Well, that's normal, but
not until later on. Then they'll end up putting them in there.
Yeah, the one I have an issue with is, I think they should have. Am I wrong? Did they not have any Inferno Dragon tokens in here?
No, there's none.
None, nothing.
Zero. That's one I think. I think that's an important one that they need to include in there for players that are trying to catch up in the FM. I think that's an oversight on my mind. Also, additionally to that being an oversight, I think the fact that the cost of the Inferno Dragon and the Gretas needed to be lowered months ago. You're just making it really hard for players to get into the FM by not providing any tokens and leaving the cost so high. It really needs to be lowered, in my opinion.
It is interesting, I have to say. And as someone on our page said today, I've seen they put some Hyper 30s in there. Shall I get them? Are they worth it? And I went, well, only you can answer that question. Nobody else can. Ultimately, it's how easy can you raise those points? If you can do it easily, then clearly they're worth it. But if you are getting them because you are struggling, then they're not easy to get. So it's probably not worth it. I mean, it's a sliding scale, whichever way you want to go, and you've got to work out where you are on that sliding scale. So nobody else can answer that question for you. It's if you can get them, there's clearly value in having them. But if it costs you, an arm and leg to get them, and I don't know. Anyway, it's down to the individual. The prize pool is all there. I honestly think the turrets are also now overpriced and that sort of stuff. But yeah,
the most overpriced thing in there, and I'm still not. I have no idea why it's in here at this cost. But they did this last month. But the one-day incinerator build token is 4 million.
Yeah, why is it even in there, and why is the hull there? Because it's rubbish.
Yeah, I mean, last month they had the icebreaker token was 4 million as well.
Yeah,
that should be 1.5 at most.
I can't think of any. I don't know of any. But have you ever seen a fleet of those sail around?
Yes,
I drive mine still.
No, not the icebreakers. The flipping
incinerators.
Because that's basically what happens to them. They incinerate.
I hit by a fleet of those a couple days ago, actually.
Did you?
How'd they do?
I didn't have my guard in, so they did pretty well.
All right.
Wait, what?
I can just see them coming out with a TLC you got to have incinerators for.
That'd be such a law, wouldn't it? What do you mean you haven't got incinerators? You like that? Well, you put that with your fleet of icebreakers that you recycled, eh, Venom?
I had 3 incinerators and I scrapped them.
Yeah, I started to build one and I watched some videos and went, nah, sack it. I cancelled it and got rid of them.
All the new tech for armors and stuff, if you build them right, they can still do pretty well with the new stuff.
So,
but in what base? That's the question.
Yeah.
There's lots of bases. Like mine's shit now because I haven't done anything with it in months, and I refuse to until the refactor.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's my point. If he's coming with incinerators and somebody's coming with witch doctors, I know where my money would be.
Hmm.
I don't know.
And
I like
anyway,
my doctors.
yeah, I do now. I do now. I'm now we've got a bit more plating. I'd still like a bit more, but at least they're starting to come good again. But hey, not to worry. Right, okay. Benji done. Jamie, anything to close with?
Good luck, everybody.
Oh, you're just so nice. Okay, Hefe, you mate.
Are you going to have incinerator builds in the next show?
No.
Okay, just
I'll leave that one to you, mate. You can deal with stats and stuff like that. You like doing that.
Yeah.
No.
I'll have Venom as a special guest on this one.
Yeah, Venom can do it.
Venom's incinerator build. What do you think, Venom?
There is nothing that will ever make that thing good unless it has an R10 that gives it like 2 million armor.
It leads an R10, yeah. I was hoping they do R15 for Prides and bring them back, but that's not going to happen either. So.
That hull wasn't good when it came out. It's not going to be good now.
Oh dear. I don't know. Well. Mary, anything for you, mate, to close?
Yeah. So was it just me that was noticing the speed up mechanic wasn't working on the bat rays, or that kind of everybody?
Yeah, the stacking and the speed up, and there are a few issues. Yeah.
Was there not comments in the forum about that they're trying to fix?
Yeah, there's a list of things they're trying to look at. One obviously they did sort out was the music coming on. The other one was obviously you couldn't hit targets, and then there were a couple of other ones as well they've listed. But it was on Discord. There was about 5 or 6, and in fact it's in the forum chat as well. So.
Oh, flash crash!
Hooray! Samuel's turn.
You're playing. I'll be glad to go back to the laptop for my game here in a bit.
That's the first time that's happened to me in months.
Live on air as well. Apart from flash crashing, anything to close with, Samuel?
Just everybody try and enjoy it. Enjoy the raid.
I'm looking forward
I know a lot
to
of us in here are enjoying it. I think looking at the council page and seeing some people complaining about how their choice of fleet's doing, I think if everybody just takes a bit of time and looks over the information that's there rather than panicking, you'll find the information and it will start to become a bit more enjoyable once you've got your fleet together.
You don't need 500 billion points. Half the stuff in the prize pool is just junk anyway.
Hey, don't pick on me.
It's just I was not mentioning any names.
And I think that's one of the reasons that I think people are like this raid, because there's not a huge requirement for points.
Yeah. I said that to my alliance. I mean, don't worry about it. Get the flagship and a couple of things. That's it. Don't do anything else. The rest of it's all notional stuff that's been in so many times before. If you can get some tokens, that's nice and it'll help you out. I said, but we've got a month now. Stick with the fleet that you've got, and we've been helping each other out a bit, and it's working quite well. So,
I think, to be honest, the most enjoyable part isn't about the points or the store or anything else. I think, for myself, who's got the bat ray, I think the most enjoyable bit has been that the target tuning has been on point. The sub is difficult, but that's only one difficult aspect, and you're putting the rest of the puzzle together around that. And I think that makes it more enjoyable than just the target's either too hard or it's just too easy.
Yeah, valid point, mate. Venom, what about you, mate?
Yeah, just enjoy yourselves. I was just playing around there with the manticores, trying to test the stacking check. It is awful. Like if I start clicking either side, the ships all decide they either want to go or don't want to go.
Yeah, got you. So the good thing is then it's not the new hulls, it's something generically in the game at the moment, isn't it?
Yep. It's just with one hull that's been deselected, it's going to freak out.
Yeah, frustrating. I wonder if that's because it's maybe something to do with like forward combat speed is so much now, and there'll be something. There'll be a, we'll get it raised as well. I mean, it probably won't be the top of their priority tree, but we'll get it raised and see what they can do. Yeah, because like you say, 5 stack there, you're fine, aren't you?
Yep.
It's an issue with your broadband provider.
I flash crashed too.
Yay! We're doing well. That's 3 people tonight in one show. I'm impressed.
That's why I use
Screen of death. Screen of death. We love it. Right, we're good. Okay. Hey, thanks everyone for coming in. It's been good. Yeah, a really good show. Actually, quite positive. Summarizing, then, we're liking the targets. It's interesting. Some of the mechanics are interesting. Stop playing around with the sliders so much. Maybe just tweak it little bits if you find you have to, but don't flipping do the massive yo-yo effect because we don't like that, especially when we're trying to work out what to put on the blooming ships.
And if you do it, announce it.
Yeah, announce it. Just say, well, they're never going to say, oh, by the way, we're not making enough money, so we're going to turn the damage up. They probably won't ever say that.
Yeah, 4 hours after it's already started and we're at alpha, so everyone in world 400, and up gets the pooch, basically.
They wouldn't have had to mess with the damage so much on the first day if they didn't have half the community unable to do the raid to start with.
Well, there is that. But some props, look, I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know. I think it's because a lot of people are using them now. But what I like is the fact that they have put some assault targets in. There are you can use prototides, so it's not just SSRBs. So that's good. I think they fibbed a little bit when they said about putting fangtooths in there. I don't think anyone's had a good time using those.
No, they die instantly. The one
Yeah,
that
so
died.
They shouldn't have even mentioned fangtooth. That's real bad of them, to be honest. But then again, some people don't have hunters at all, and they've only ever built fangtooth. So, but a prototype target and then a prototype TLC to come out, so you can actually go and get them, build them instantly, and then just go and then hit the baby targets. So at least you could, as long as you could have something like icebreakers, you could at least have something of the right raid type to go in and actually play around. And as someone was saying there, you can actually hit the 60 sets if you're clever enough. So there is a couple of sweet spots as well. I've managed to find a target above the 60s that you can hit with prototypes, and it does very well. But I'll let everybody work that one out.
Oh, come on, you gotta tell us.
Nah.
Spill the beans.
That's like asking what's it like to hit, build a witch doctor. I don't ever mention that on the page either because that's alliance stuff. So, but yeah, there are some good targets out there. So
It's whichever of the 80 set that you have to drive in circles for. So he's given you the hint earlier in the show.
Okay.
But there is a target out there that protos do okay in. I'm not saying they're brilliant, but they're okay. Right. Thanks everybody for coming in. Thanks for you guys in chat. Some good stuff in there. I know Ford had to shoot off and that stuff, but Wayne stuck it through to the end. So thanks, buddy. Yeah, we should get an update for next week, and obviously it's going to be VXPing and that sort of stuff. So that will be interesting, won't it? Not VXP weekend's always exciting. But then on to Bounty. Oh gosh, Eek. Venom's favorite. Bounty.
Time for fun again.
Yeah. Bounty, as I said last time. Yeah, it happened again. Right. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Have a good time and stay salty because plenty of you are. Okay. I'll say goodnight. Take care.
Good night, hon.
Later.
Night, everyone.
Night.